Hello, welcome to my presentation. Now, the question that I did today is, how did economic contributed to the reform in America? Now, my stance on this matter is economic contributed by showing growth in the economy, especially countries with very, very low economy, like we were during the Great Depression, and it helped increase our investments in businesses, banks, gas stations, and many more, and showed a decrease in poverty. Now, during the Progressive Era and Depression, we had a problem with a lot of poverty. People were homeless. People didn't have homes. People that did have homes were so small to the point where if them not having a home was better than living in that place. Now, my first reasoning is reforms help increase the competition in certain sectors, like business and banks. It leads customers to have a choice. It also has four main areas that it really focuses on. Now, my second reasoning is reform has the power to change the structure of an economy. Reform rises inflation, fiscal increase in adversary balance payments. Also, reforms creates high wage jobs, which could help a lot of struggling families and just humans in general. Now, my third reasoning is reform increases the state capacity. It also provides a supply of goods that states don't have the opportunity to have those supplies. And it causes a heavy decline in poverty, which we did suffer. And it provides improvement in public services like police stations, firefighters, and many other. Now, my fourth reasoning, my final, is reform can improve a country's government finances. Reform creates more jobs from people who don't have the opportunity to have one. It creates an increase of spending put into research like our space system and our water researchers. Now, my opposing viewpoints are our markets are self-correcting ways. Wages should remain at substance level, and the state should do very little to interfere with the natural rhythms of the economy. Now, equality and poor working conditions were not a problem, so therefore there is no need for solutions to feed these issues, as they will correct itself. Now, my discussion how my opponent's viewpoints are weak and mine is better is that markets do fail and they are not always self-correcting. Economic reform laid the necessary groundwork for government to step into the correct failures of markets, restores efficiency, and promote public needs and equality in society. Now, by creating the proper balance between the private and public actions, investments, regulation, and public provided socials. Now, my conclusion on this whole slideshow is, before the Progressive Era, the belief was that the market would correct itself without the help of the government. Because of that, many people didn't really trust the government and how corrupt it was and how it was controlled by many big businesses, and how they would do nothing for the people but just anything for money. Now, the Progressive Era realized that the corruption that came from that belief worked to enforce regulations for the corrupt business practices to protect the interest of the public. Now, because of this, it caused many workers to go on strike and demand a new, better working conditions, a better pay, and better work hours, and honestly be treated like humans, because they're treated like dogs. They would work all day, paid at least $1 or less an hour a day, and the conditions were terrible. There was no air conditioning, there was no nothing, and it was a very terrible place to work in. And the big companies would just tell police to do anything they can to get them out, and the police would just comply. They wouldn't care about the situation. They would just do as they're told, as long as they're getting money. Now, these are my sites that I've used to get the information that I've used in the slideshow. Thank you for listening.